Okay, here we come back to the show.
1450 AM, 95.9 FM, WOL, where information is power.
Praise the Lord, everybody. We are back. Anthony Miles, your Christian reverse mortgage answer man. We are on these wonderful airwaves, Radio 1, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. We do not skip the first Wednesday anymore. And remember, the third Wednesday of the month, we're on for a full hour. WL 1450 AM and our sister station simultaneously, 95.9 FM. So if you got problems with your radio, AM, FM, you got one of those channels to choose from, and you can hear me every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Give me a call. Give me a shout out. 1-800-952-PRAY. 1-800-952-7729. If you're the child of somebody who is at least 62 and you're wondering about the reverse, how it works, trying to understand why it sounds too good to be true, trying to understand the closing costs, trying to understand what happens after mom or dad does pass on as far as your role, then you need to definitely write down that number, 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729, and definitely give me a call. Half of the phone calls I get, honestly, are from the children. And some of those are from children whose parents recently passed and they had a reverse. The kids did not know they had a reverse, and it kind of throws them in a whirlwind to where they don't know what happens. But the good news is, because they call me, I'm not tooting my horn here, but I help them out free of charge. I don't care about any financial gain. I care about the spiritual gain. I care about knowing that doing the right thing by them afterwards too. And these are people that didn't go through me that had a reverse, but the kids need to know what goes on, and it's very important. It's very important they don't get harassed and pressured by the bank, so I give them every little tidbit of advice. I'll help them out. I'll make phone calls with them. No problem whatsoever. So if you're one of those people, make sure you write down that number if you know your parent does have a reverse mortgage. So we're talking about preparing for your retirement, all right? We talked about the spousal loss of income, how important that is in preparing for that. And that's where that making payments in a reverse mortgage comes in. A lot of people are never prepared for that loss from that loved one, and they're never prepared for that financial loss. I have a wonderful couple. I love them dearly, not going to mention their name, but I know firsthand that if that wife passes on, that husband is up the creek. All right, and I'm saying that as nicely as possible, up the creek as far as what he gets still from the benefits of his wife if she passes on, God forbid. And they're going to be in trouble. I'm sorry, he'll be in trouble. He's going to struggle because he's still making a mortgage payment. And unfortunately, I got a feeling that they'll probably refinance. Maybe they won't. Hopefully, I pray they will not. Because if you do refinance into a traditional mortgage at that age of at least close to 62 or any time after 62, if you refinance into a traditional mortgage and you even take out more funds because you need those and you're still making a payment, it is going to be highly likely that it's going to be hard to get you in the reverse when you do wake up and realize that the loss of that loved one has financially also put you in turmoil. And it's going to be too late for me to do anything about it. So I'm telling you right now, there's no point whatsoever in not doing a reverse refinance instead of a traditional, because I'm telling you, make those mortgage payments. Pay that money every single month that you were paying before. You're saying, what do you mean in a reverse you don't make a payment? No, that's a lie. You don't not make a payment. You chose not to make a payment because you were never told that you could make a payment. You were only told no payments required, so that means I don't make a payment. For a lot of people, that means, well, I don't own my house then, because if I'm not making a payment, I must not own my house. That's not true. You do own your house, but I'm telling you, make a payment. It's not that you're not required to make a payment. It is more like you control the amount of payment that's made every month and the frequency of those payments. So by all means, make a payment. Excuse me. I'm recovering from a cold, so my voice is a little more nasally than usual, which is pretty rough anyways. So if you think you can do it, if you're like, man, I'm doing okay, we're making our payments, we're doing fine, Mr. Miles, we don't need any help, that's great. Prove it to me. Prove you can still make those payments by making them in a reverse. Because if you can't, and you come to the realization like this couple's going to come to, God forbid if it happens, and she passes on first, that he can't still afford to make that mortgage payment with what he's got coming in for retirement, then you're going to lose that home. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to be stressed out. You're going to lose more hair than I've already lost just in this half hour doing this show. It is stressful, and I'm trying to stop that. I'm trying to prevent that by helping you out. There's no reason in a reverse mortgage you cannot still just make those payments. But if something happens, and it's going to happen, an emergency is going to kick in, you're going to either lose your spouse, your roof's going to cave in, your transmission's going to go, you're going to need money, believe it or not, at some time in the future. For insurance, staying in the house, whatever it is, a nurse aid, you're going to need money. Wake up, you're going to need it. And if you're not prepared for that, and you have not financially set yourself up for that accordingly, you're going to be in trouble. So you have nothing to lose by doing a reverse and making payments. Because when that emergency kicks in, guess what? Mr. Miles, by giving you the truth, has set you up to stop making that payment or cut it in half or completely just eliminate it, wipe it out, whatever you want to do at that point in time without any penalty or repercussion. Because you were making that payment all the time, and under the laws and reverse rules, you can completely make it come to a complete halt and stop because you can't afford to make it anymore. But you know what? You paid down your balance, so you're able to leave more of a legacy to your children. And you also have what's called a savings account that got created by you making those payments. It's a topic for a different show because we are talking about preparing for your retirement. We talked about it. Life has its ups and downs. Negatively, there's a financial aspect kicked into it. We just spoke about that. Enjoy your retirement. Do you want to make repairs to your home? If you wake up every day and you see your house is just crumbled, just ugh. You know, you walk in that kitchen and there's a leak, especially with the rain we've got coming probably tonight with the thunderstorms. Why are you living life like that? You don't have to. Stop sulking. Get up. Especially if you're one of those people that is Christ-centered, that goes to church, that believes the Lord's going to answer your prayers. Let me tell you something. He's going to answer those prayers when you get up. You can't just say, Lord, answer my prayer, and it's going to happen. You've got to react. You've got to react for something to happen correctly for you. Otherwise, you're going to miss the boat. And in this case, what I'm talking about is you've got all this equity that you're holding on to that isn't going with you. Lord's not letting you take that home up there with you. That you can use this house to better your life while it's here. Do you enjoy that stress? Do you enjoy the struggle of living day to day? Do you enjoy robbing Peter to pay Paul? Do you enjoy waking up to the toilet that won't even flush? Do you enjoy walking into a kitchen with missing drawers? Do you enjoy walking into a kitchen with missing tiles? I know what that's like personally because I lived it with my mom. It's a nightmare, and I've lived it with many of my clients. It's a nightmare. And I'm telling you here right now, you don't have to live that way anymore. There are alternatives. I'm not saying you got to do the reverse. I'm saying you got to be open to the truth. Be careful though, and understand that. Be wary of information, but do not allow misinformation to cloud your judgment. Okay? Because that goes all throughout the Bible about misinformation, okay? So I'm telling you with the reverse, yeah, it can be a nightmare. You're absolutely right. Yes, you can lose your home if you don't pay your taxes and insurance. Yes, there could be nothing left in there for your children if you do a reverse mortgage. If you don't do it the right way, well, what's the right way? The right way is being properly informed, is being educated, is listening to this show and getting all the truth about the reverse, knowing you can make payments, which is going to, number one, leave more legacy to your children. Number two, set you up with a savings account by making those payments. Number three, properly prepare you that if you lose your spouse and you lose that income, you're still okay. The reverse could have that capability to do many of those things, but unless you're properly informed on how it works. But Mr. Miles, I don't want to sell my house to the bank. You must have not heard my show for the last few years because you don't understand the contract and how it works. Stop listening to everybody else and start listening to the truth. The truth is you taking the step yourself to get properly educated about this program. So that means you call an FHA. Don't listen to me. Listen to me, but don't listen to me as far as what I'm telling you is the absolute truth. Back it up. Go to the horse's mouth. Go right to FHA. Go right to HUD and say, man, there's this crazy guy on the radio. And he is goofy and insane. And he's telling me I can make a payment in my reverse mortgage. Is that true? They're going to tell you that goofy guy's right. Yeah. Well, why didn't anybody ever tell me that? Because nobody cares. People don't care about people. That's the problem. What we are doing on this show is we're putting Christ first, and that's giving you what the Lord's telling me to do. All right? And that's to give you free information without anything in return except knowing I'm doing the right thing. It's hard to find in life, but it's out there when you search for it and when you open your ear and you lean into His Word. I am not the Lord. Will never be. Don't want to be, okay? Because I'm not perfect. But I'm trying to do the right thing, and I'm trying to lean in, and I'm trying to listen to what the Lord's telling me to do in life. I'm not perfect in every aspect, but in my job, I'm leaning in, and if the Lord's telling me this is what you have to do, and this is what you have to sacrifice financially to make sure people don't get scammed, that's what I'm doing. But call FHA. Get properly informed. If you have a reverse, you need to refinance it, because your home's going up in value. And if you miss out on that equity that's rightfully yours and not the bank's, and I don't mean taking out in the form of cash, but at least reserving it, you're going to miss out. Call me, 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. Anthony Miles, your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man, 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. To God be the glory. Go out and make it a good one. Let people see Jesus in your eyes. Amen.